Good morning. It's Tuesday, the 22nd of March. I've been trying to sleep through the night rather than get up in the middle of the night. I do better that way. Of course, I'm kind of enthusiastic and energetic when it comes down to talking to folks out there, getting the message across that I want to get across. And I've been thinking about a lot of different topics. I've had several on my mind. This morning, I want to give you some current events and put those into the Bible perspective. It's really quite simple. What we're watching appears to be a fake war. I don't know what else to call it. It doesn't make sense. Why would they have such an obviously fake war? Well, it's a lot like when they have other things that are very obviously ambivalent. They'll present a fact, if you will, and they'll push us in the other direction. So what they will do is they will take and they will push your mind in one direction. And then they will give you the other argument, if you will, and push it in the other direction. And typically these are extreme directions. So they keep on pushing. I don't know what else to do but put this up here for an example. I don't think you see that very well, but they keep pushing it in one direction and in the other direction. What I need is a butter knife to show you. So what I'm getting to is they're pushing, and the reason why I want a butter knife is it's steel. They push it in one direction, they push it in the other direction. And it seems like a little push. It seems like it's insignificant. It seems like it's nothing. But what they're doing by pushing back and forth on this piece of steel is they're ruining the temper of the steel. So they're breaking it. And why would they want to break the steel? Well, they're pushing your mind in one direction, and then they push it in the other direction. The purpose of it is to break this temper of the steel. Why? To break your mind. So they have access, they can put in there whatever kind of garbage, whatever kind of shit they want. And right now, we've got a fake war going on in the Ukraine. Now, is it totally fake? Pretty much. They talk about the fog of war. I don't think there's anything foggy about this. I think it's really clear. How many cameras are there in the Ukraine? We don't see any live camera feeds, video feeds from anybody. Nobody's uploading anything of anything that they see. That's just not the way it goes today. Everybody's got cameras. Everybody wants to be famous, it seems like. Everybody wants to be the one to post up something that everybody else watches. Everybody wants to be popular. Well, not only that, but you have this Zelensky guy who comes before our own Congress and gives an obviously made up, conjured up speech. And you got the congressmen there, and you got senators that are clamoring over to help this guy. And it's obviously so fake. It's such a fraud. So why do they do that obviously under our noses? I think part of it is to get us to argue among ourselves. Another part is to cause the internal conflict that leads to our own minds breaking. It's part of a general brainwashing technique as far as I can tell. It's one thing that we didn't study much in school when I was a psychologist. We didn't study the brainwashing techniques. You would think we would have done that. We also didn't We also didn't study this concept of satanic ritual abuse. Of course, I guess we're not supposed to bring up that since we probably are the managers for the planet, for the elite. Yeah, we work for them. I'm sad to say, but that's basically what psychology does. In the Bible, it says, don't pay attention when you hear rumors of wars. There will be rumors of wars. It mentions that to a large extent. And these things must come to pass. Ignore that stuff. Hold your ground. Stand your ground. Don't be bothered by rumors of wars. Charles Nenner is a Danish fellow who does Bible. He does predictions according to the cycles given in the Bible. And I don't believe he's ever shared his technique. I don't know how he does that. I have no idea. He came to the conclusion and aired this probably a couple months ago at this point, at least a month ago. And that would have been on USA Watchdog USA, Greg Hunter. Excellent. He says that there's not going to be a war in the Ukraine. They're not going to fight. And if I hadn't heard Charles Brenner say that he didn't think there was going to be fighting in the Ukraine, I probably would have gotten suckered into this stuff. But you can look at the cameras that are on these cities, the internet cameras, the live feeds, and I don't see anything going on over there. You can listen to a lot of these people that give their testimonies, professionals that are in those cities, saying there's nothing going on. Everything's fine. The water's running, the electricity's there, all the infrastructure's intact. They've got all their services, food's on the shelves of the stores. So, folks, they got a fake war going on. And so what's the purpose of the fake war? As far as I can tell, it's to manipulate us and to open us up and to give them an excuse for what they're going to do to us. And what they're doing to us is an entirely different kind of war than what you think it is. They're going to inflate, deflate, all kinds of stuff is going to be going on when it comes to the economy. This is the takedown of the United States of America, and it's occurring from within. And in case you're wondering, I think the other thing that this shows us is that not only do they give us fake wars, but our government's pretty much fake. I mean, those people that are in our government are all actors and actresses. They're all putting on big shows. Seriously, look at them. They're putting on shows. They're taking extreme positions with no basis. We have to send them weapons. We have to send them money. No, we don't. What are they going to do with that money and those weapons? Well, the weapons are going to be sold on the black market, 95% of them. And the money, well, from what I can tell, it is making its way around the world, probably right back to our liberal politicians' pockets. Might have to do a little bit of a roundabout, but not very much. I'm pretty sure that these guys are sending money over there to line their own pockets. They're getting paid off, just like the Biden family has done, just like the Clinton family has done. Why do we tolerate this stuff? I don't know. I just know that we're pretty much a peaceful people. We're slow to anger, slow to move. That's probably a good thing. I certainly wouldn't want to be jumping into another one of their world wars. Those things really happened, but they didn't happen the way we've been told. And the purposes were not what you think. I think that we're being set up. I believe that they're going to take us down economically. And these banks aren't, the Federal Reserve doesn't give one damn about fighting inflation. That's all lip service. If they really were going to fight inflation, the interest rates would have been jacked up already, because everybody knows from experience and historically that you fight inflation by jacking the interest rate up above the rate of inflation. And that way people don't lose their wealth. At this point, they're busy stealing. Inflation is theft. Remember, there's no such thing as a word inflation. It was made up. It was given to you by the banksters so that they could steal from you and get away from it. Oh, along with their politicians. They're in cahoots together. They're in bed together. These politicians live so high on the hog, it's just not funny. They get so stinking wealthy, and yet we tolerate it. Why do we tolerate it? I don't know. One other aspect about this fake war over there. I've never heard so many people clamor to go defend another nation in the name of democracy and freedom as I hear right now. Folks, we don't have a democracy here. We've got kind of a weird oligarchy with a bunch of corporations running the show. From what I see, it's probably more like fascism than anything that's ever existed in the world before. You might think that we don't have a police state like they had during the days of the Iron Curtain and when the Soviet Union was around. I got news for you, folks. We've got more of a police state. I mean, those guys back then, Lenin, Trotsky, oh boy, Stalin, they'd all be jealous if they saw the machinery that's in place in the United States of America today. They would be jealous, envious, because they didn't have the sort of surveillance mechanism that we have on us right now. The thing that comes to mind is that I don't trust this government. Do you trust this government? Well, if we don't trust this government, why don't we cut it down in size? I mean, we could reverse engineer it. Let's get rid of the most recent created cabinet position. I don't think they're doing their jobs. Is there a job to be done? I just don't know about that. They're certainly not serving us. They're serving themselves. Charles Denner, boy, I'm not sure if it's a J or a D or an N right now. I think it's Charles Nenner. Charles Nenner said that the real war is coming after this Ukrainian incursion. He said they're not going to fight. We know they're not going to fight. That's what he said. They're just not going to fight. So that's what's going on in the Ukraine. There is kind of a cleanup effort, if you will, perhaps of what Putin is calling Nazis. Folks, you got to realize that the New World Order put that Zelensky government in there. They back them. It's an illegal government. It's not a government of the Ukrainian people. And then also the New World Order funded all of those weird white nationalist, I guess that's what they are, paramilitary groups. They funded, the New World Order put those folks in there. So you've got Zelensky, another Jewish administration, with what looks like a white nationalist, a Nazi like Putin calls them Nazis, militia, all backed by the New World Order, and Putin's going there and cleaning it out. Putin's cleaning it out. Another New World Order puppet is going to go clean out the other New World Order puppets. Folks, it's a real shit show. I hate to say sit back and enjoy the show. I don't think there's anything to be enjoyed here. The fact is that all of these players have been put in motion by the same elite son of a bitches. The same bastards behind the scenes are doing this one. And of course, they're busy, making our own politicians look like they're standing up for democracy. Let's go do another war, boys and girls, on somebody else's soil. It doesn't happen here. We don't see it. We don't suffer from it. I mean, we're isolated from it. So let's go ahead and bomb the fuck out of somebody else. I'm sorry, but I don't really think we should be doing that. I'm sorry, but I really think we should be sitting this one out. And part of the reason is because Charles Nenner said that the real war is coming right afterwards, and it's the war between the United States of America and China. I'm afraid we're going to get a real one over that. Taiwan, apparently, supposedly, according to all these rumors, has got biolabs there. They're working on weaponizing smallpox. Folks, I don't know what the truth is. I'm not in any of these countries or places. All I know is that I pay attention to the little cues, the clues, and I try to put it together and make sense of it. It's hard to make sense out of a lot of it. You know, it's very much like our illustrious FBI. There's a trial going on of these guys that got roped uh, into an FBI plot to a false flag, if you will, an FBI plot to kidnap a governor of a state. Now, I don't like that governor very much. I think she's the daughter or granddaughter of some famous liberal jackass that we shouldn't allow anywhere near the government. But I'm not so sure. But what I am sure of is that the FBI cajoled those guys, those poor, dumb son of a bitches, into doing something they shouldn't do. Folks, these guys set up people all the time. They set up and stage these false flags all the time. Um, you and I cannot know the truth. Oh, what am I doing? Oh, I'm forgetting. Our wonderful media. Our media is selling all this stuff to us. It's limiting the information we can get. It's really dictating how we think, what we believe, what we think, what to think. It's dictating the hell to us. I mean, it's trying to give us hell on earth. Now, this is the culmination of what happens after millennia of allowing the devils to run upon the face of the earth and to rule the face of the earth. It does say in the Bible there will be rumors of wars. Don't pay any attention to it. But it also says in the Bible that evil will be removed from the earth. Now, you folks are out there thinking there's going to be a rapture of good people. It ain't a rapture of good people. You need to read the book a little closer. In the book of Luke, I can't remember. I just pointed it out to a buddy of mine who offered to reward anybody who could prove there was a rapture in the Bible. Well, there is a rapture in the Bible. You know, and it's towards the end of that chapter, and people just fail to read to the very end of the chapter. Basically, it says, you know, there'll be two women in a field, and one will be taken, the other will be left. There'll be, two men in a bed. Right. My buddy really liked it when I read that one to him. He says, they both got to be gone, you know. Well, anyway, one will be taken, one will be left. And there's a third example in there of one will be taken, one will be left. Okay, so this supports the rapture theory. I think it's more of a raptor theory, as in raptor vultures, raptor eagles, raptors, birds. There were even dinosaurs called raptors that were little aggressive son of a guns. I learned about those in the movies. You know, everything in the movies is true, right? No, those movies are designed to confuse us between reality and fantasy so that they can control us. And they also put all of their subtle political messages in those movies. They slide them in there, and I hate that stuff. I'm aware of it. It offends me deeply, and I can't get them to stop. That's what Hollywood's about. Anyway, where was I? The media is just a bunch of whatever. It's horrible. It's all controlled by the same people, folks. The same people that own the pharmaceutical industries, that control your health system. It's not a military industrial complex, folks. It's a medical military industrial complex. Get it through your thick heads. These folks give you both the disease and the illness and the cure. They give you the cause. They give you both sides, folks. And in this particular war, they've give us both biological agents, if you will. They gave us the disease, and they gave us what's supposed to be the cure. It's all biological weapons at this point. You just can't trust anything they do. We don't have the best health system in the United States of America. In South America, they've had better health systems, better hospitals. They don't just treat cancer down there, they cure it. Typically, it takes 6 weeks, maybe 2 months, and it's gone. You're done with it. By law, that little pissant country of Ecuador is so poor. They've got a richer health system than you or I have, because by law they're required to the homeopathic physicians, the natural physicians, the natural doctors are required to treat you first, and only when they fail they make a referral over to the allopathic guys that we're stuck with up here. And allopathy is basically the medicines are all poisons, toxins. They all work through principles of disabling and toxicity. Up here, we're not allowed to treat cancer except by cut, slash, and burn. Down there, they can treat them with herbs and other things. We had a really good herbologist in the United States of America till about 5 years ago. He should be out of prison by now. I visited the man. I went there and met him before the feds raised him. Spoke with him after that, spoke with his mother after that as well. There was a particular aspect of his clinical practice that they were interested in. I wish that the doctor had told me what it was. He wouldn't tell me that. He was under duress. He was being required to sign an agreement that it was going to put his ass in prison for 5 years, or they were going to put his wife and his mother, his elderly mother, in prison. So they destroyed this man. And last summer I went by and I located I couldn't locate the shop, the warehouse facility where they processed herbs and stored herbs, but I found the clinic area, and the Amish were there. They were really nice people, and the grounds there are beautiful. And it was like his clinic had never been there. This natural health clinic. They don't want us to have good treatment. In case you're wondering, that fellow told me that he didn't treat the disease. He treated the immune system. He worked with the immune system. And at that time, it was a time John McCain was dying from his brain tumor, which I don't think that's what he died from, but I just don't know. I think he might have, there's rumors that he might have been tried secretly and sentenced to death and agreed to it or something, but the man was so evil that that's probably what should have happened to him, but I doubt it. He had a brain cancer. Well, this herbalist was getting fantastic results with brain cancers. They were going away. They were working really good. These herbs were working really good, revving up the immune system. And of course, that was all before this other problems with this biological stuff. And anybody who was working with the immune system would have probably been able to realize early on what was involved. So they had to take him out of action. They had to take him out of commission, folks. They had to sideline him so that he wouldn't be there to help people, and he wouldn't be there to alert the rest of us. This military industrial complex, the medical part was done by the Rockefellers, their medical schools, their big pharma. In the Bible, it says very clearly that your medicine is going to be green leaves. It's going to be herbs is what's described in there. Our medicine is supposed to be natural stuff. Why through the herbs? Why not white powders or refined powders? Because these plants buffer it so that it doesn't harm us. They also put it in a more bioavailable form. And if you read the original sin, or the story of what they call the original sin, you'll realize that the serpent was sentenced to eating dust from the earth. Dust sounds a lot like these white powders and a lot like these concoctions that they give us. I'm going to try to be talking about current events. I think you need to batten the hatches down. My understanding is that they're going to ramp up on 5G and start playing with us with that stuff. There's frequencies within that bandwidth which they can modulate. They can do quite a bit. In about 1974, The United States Air Force said that their most powerful, most effective weapon was 5G. I don't know what they meant by that, folks. I've just got a friend, a close friend, who's reported that to me, and it makes sense to me. They're also working on 6G, supposedly, and maybe even deployed that already. And someone told me they've got 10G coming out. Now, I don't know what that means, but these are all frequencies, radio frequencies. And in case you're wondering, you are a radio frequency. Your life, your soul is an electromagnetic force. It is an electric universe. And when they bring these devices in and use them, they can do all kinds of stuff. Heck, they've even got a ray gun that'll take your molecules, disassemble them, take you right out of time, disassemble you to some tiny pieces, and then when you come back together again, it's pretty gruesome. And that was used in the first Gulf War. The physicians and the witnesses and the videos were out there on YouTube. I saw those. There was an older man and a young boy that had both gotten winged by this. And apparently the parts of their bodies that had been hit withered and just atrophied terribly. It looked agonizing. There was a story that a busload of people was hit by one of these guns directly, and that the carnage inside was indescribable because it took people apart and it put them back together and with other people's parts. It's got to be a really agonizing death. We've heard of I think it was called the Highway to Hell or the Highway to Baghdad. We heard in the first Gulf War that they were surrendering very easily. Well, it was because we were hitting them with this ray gun that was reducing a 6-foot buff, warrior down to 1 meter. It was shrinking these guys. And so our boys would come up, and our boys weren't warned. They didn't tell our soldiers what to expect. So they would come upon these corpses of these guys, and the eyes looked pretty weird in the bodies, and they were described as burned. No wonder that the Iraqis were surrendering as fast as they could. So they've got some interesting weapons out there. Who knows whatever else they have. I just say that, we have to turn to Yahweh. We cannot rebel, although we should stop participating. We should fail to support this illicit government that we have, like we should fail to support this news media that's nothing but propaganda. Pravda in the Soviet Union would be really jealous and envious as to what our media achieves with our people. And our media includes those movies out of Hollywood, all of that garbage that they produce. Okay, folks, we've got rumors of war. I think China's going to be a real war. I just don't know. I really think that we've made a mistake by sitting aside and allowing this fraud to be perpetrated upon us, so that we've got this old geezer in there who just can't think right. It's really elderly abuse. We shouldn't be doing it to that fine gentleman. We shouldn't be doing it to Brandon. I don't know quite what to tell you. The things are really pretty messed up. Read your Bibles. Turn to Yahweh. Call upon the name of Yahweh. Read the book of Genesis. You'll find that when men first started calling upon the name of the Lord, learn the name of the Lord, use it, get used to it, realize that the short version, his nickname is Yahweh. So get used to that, folks, because this other name of God, they actually slipped that in as a kind of almost an alliteration of the short nickname of Gad. Gad was the nickname of Gadriel. Gadriel was that fallen angel that seduced Eve. At least Eve reported that. Eve complained about that. That we have in the Bible. I've got a nice Bible for sale. Visit my blog. There's things I can write there and say there that I can't do on this format. Just getting started with this. Forgive me for, I'm trying to establish, I guess, a character, if you will. I'm trying to establish a style. Trying to get things going here. I appreciate your comments. I only get a few comments right now. I'm only getting a few views. I've got to do shorter takes. I do want to do several. I've got to start taking notes, writing things down, and getting myself super organized, double organized. You know, I've got to generate these things, and I've got to double organize. Got to make it good. Of course, the D stands for destroy, according to Siri Singh Sahib, and I don't like that idea, but all good things have to come to an end at some point. I'm rather liking my life at this particular point in stage. I do wish I was talking with more people. Wish I had more friends out there. I've got friends across the country, but it looks like traveling is going to get to be rough. Talking, we're all inhibited because everything's being recorded. Everything's being listened to. You might as well just speak out, folks, and get your voice on record. You might as well just be honest, and you need to talk about these things with people. We can't let these frauds stand. We can't let them mesmerize us. We can't let them fool us and bamboozle us. We have to recognize that we've been had about this war in the Ukraine. And if it helps you, think of it this way. The New World Order banksters are backing Putin, so they're in charge of that guy. He's doing what they direct him to do. The New World Order fellow that's in the Ukraine, Zelensky, he's doing as he's told to do. He's just an actor. And so he's doing his best to defraud the people and pull more money out of the United States of America. And then the New World Order media are making sure that you get you're fed the right food to digest and come to the right conclusions that they want you to have. And your New World Order Congress and politicians here in the United States of America are putting on a really good show, folks. We should applaud them. They're wonderful actors and actresses. I don't know if there's any honest ones among them. I don't trust any of it. I mean, I've seen our Stasi, our FBI, our police be involved in everything. They muck up everything. They put their agents in there, and they push people to doing stupid stuff, and they end up getting charged with crimes. Remember the 9/11? Remember the Twin Towers? Do you remember the first bombing of the Twin Towers? It was in the basement. There was a blind sheik involved, and he recorded the FBI agents, which saved his derriere because the FBI handler was instructing him to park his vehicle against the walls of the garage in the basement. Who knows what the truth is, folks? I just know I can't trust our government. I can't trust our media. I really hope that we don't go through the hell that may be coming, but we've earned it, folks. You have to understand that Yahweh created evil to correct us. Yahweh gave them license to sift us, but not to kill us. That's what they've been doing for a long time. So we've got to put a stop to this. And remember that evil shall be removed from the earth. These folks know they don't have that much time, so they're going to raise havoc. They're going to do the best they can. All of this stuff about there's too much in terms of population and all that, it's not true, folks. This earth can hold a lot more people, and comfortably at that. There's a lot of land available. There's a tremendous number of resources available. We just have to get rid of the evil. Once it's gone, this place will be paradise. It will be paradise on earth. But right now, folks, this is about the closest that you're going to get to hell on earth. We have the devil and the devil's children own the planet and run it right now. They've stolen it. They do it all through fraud, through trickery, through their magic, their deception, their lying. We're being run by sociopaths. You've got to learn about that. And remember, they cannot be converted. They cannot be saved. It's their nature. They were created for the fires. We weren't. Good day, folks. Good day.